Alright, my name is Mallory Peters, and today I'm just going to go over the parts of the horse with this guy here. So we'll start out, this part is the muzzle here, this whole area where he's got his lips, which horses obviously use a lot to grab things. You can tell he's reaching out there, but grab treats or grass, whatever. Then his nose right there, and this area here is his face. Facial markings, if you think about that, like he's got a blaze here because it covers his full face. So this is a face area that's kind of a good facial markings face. And then if you come closer, we'll get a look at his teeth here. And I guess one remarkable thing, he's got kind of a lot of plaque there. This horse is older, and one thing to use as kind of a indicator of the age of the horse is the Galvane's groove, which on this horse he's about 20. So you can see on this tooth right here, he's got a groove. I know it's hard to tell, but there's a groove here that goes all the way down from the top to the bottom. And on a horse that's older, or younger I should say, you won't see it until they're maybe about 7 or 10, around there it'll start coming out. You can see it at the start of their gums. But then by the time they're 25, 30, it's disappearing. I mean, the horse's teeth grow out, they get ground down. So if you can think of it, the Galvane's groove is above the gums when they're young, and it moves its way down as their teeth grow out. So as they're about 30, you really won't see a groove there anymore. So he's about 20, so it's all the way from the gum to the end of his teeth. And these are eyes here, obviously. And then about right here is his forehead, and then this is what we call forelock here. It's just the hair that hangs over foretop, if that's a term you'd use. And then these are his ears. A lot of horse expression comes through the ears. Right now he's kind of just mellow, that's why his ears are kind of set to the side. You can tell if they're listening to you. If they're mad, you know, they'll really pin their ears back like that, and that's a mad or a scared horse. And then right here at the very top of their head is the poll. And then here's their jaw. Throat latch is right here between the jaw and really the beginning of the neck. He's kind of fuzzy, but this is where it's at. And then this would be his neck and mane. The top here, you could call it a crest. It'd be the crest on the neck. In this horse, we kind of use crest as somewhat of an unsoundness. He's quite obese right now, so it's kind of hard to tell with his mane, but he's got crest because he's got extra weight here. And then we move on, and this right here is his shoulder, so he has the two scapulas on either side that come down. They meet up here to create the withers, which is what your saddle sets on. And then here's the shoulder here, comes to his chest, and where the bone stops right here, that's the point of his shoulder. And then this is his chest or his breast. And we move down. This is his arm, and this is his elbow. So if you think about it, you know, shoulders here, and the way their bones are, it kind of comes this way. So if you kind of think about it as this, shoulder, arm, and then his elbows here. So this is his forearm here. And this would be his knee. We call this a knee. The front joints here, the knee. And then the cannon bone right here between the knee and then the fetlock joint. And this is where the horse, you know, if you ask him to pick up his foot, move his feet, those are where the joints are here. He can move at the elbow, he can move at the knee and at the fetlock joint. And then there's the pastern. And then there's a band. It's not visible necessarily, but the part right between the pastern and the hoof is the coronary band. And if we come back up, I mentioned the withers, and then if we go here, this is, some people call it a foreflank, or a heart girth, whatever you know, terminology you want to use. But this is where, you know, you have your saddle on here, and your cinch in Western, or your girth in English, that's where you'd lock underneath. And then here's the ribs. These are the ribs right here. You can't see his because, like I said, he's a little obese right now, and fuzzy. So, but here's the back, and then underneath, we'll call that the abdomen. And then we move back here, and this between the hindquarters and the back, this is the loin here, and a coupling right here. This is a really soft spot for a horse if you want him to move sideways, like if I asked him now. See, he moves a little bit, not kind of have him squished here anyways, but that's a good, nice little button to push if you want to move your horse easy. And then this would be the hind flank, and then this is a male horse. He's a gelding, so underneath would be his shank, or his sheath, sorry. His sheath, which he's comfortable right now, so he's showing you. And then we'll move on to the hindquarters. This here, the full length can be called the croup, and then the top here is really the point of the croup. And then the point of the hip is right here, where his bone is. You can kind of tell where it ends, point of the hip. And then this is his thigh, right here. And then we'll move down a little bit. This is his stifle, what we call a stifle. And you can see, just like the elbow, this is where his joints, he bends here. And this is the gaskin right here. And this is his hock. We call this a hock. Cannon, just like the front. Fetlock joint, just like the front. As well as the pastern, the coronary band, and the hoof. And I'll just mention, just because this is his one marking, he's got a sock here. This is what we call a sock, because it doesn't, if it came to the hock, it's called a sock, but if it came higher, it'd be called a stocking. So just because it stops at the hock, it's a sock. Alright, and then I'll show you the hoof a little bit. Alright, come around. So the outside is the hoof wall, and it's muddy here, so he's muddy. But it's a hoof wall on the outside, and this area here is the sole of the foot. And he is muddy right now and hasn't been trimmed in a little while, but you'll see it's called a white line, and that's between this sole here and the hoof wall. Really, when they're trimmed, you'll be able to see that quite clearly, more clearly. And then this here is his frog, what we call the frog. You know, when you pick a hoof, that's his frog right there, that triangular piece. And then this right here is the bulb. We call these the bulbs. But yeah. So, and then to end, this is the point of the buttock. The farthest point out from where the end of the butt, that's right here. And then his tail. So that's all the parts of the horse today. Thanks.